Good evening, citizens. My name is Shattersong, former captain of the Bloody Hands Mercenary Company, and today, not quite 3 months later, but at least a couple of weeks later than we wanted it to be, we finally have the Sunday of E4 Hots and Nots. And what we'll also do in this episode is wrap up the whole E4 event in our patented Shatterscone. I can't even speak today. Jeez, help me.
You say Shatterscone.
Yeah, I'm hungry. All right, Shattersong, patented scheme of scoring events, and as usual, I have the wonderful team with me of Sol and Matty.
Hello.
Hello.
Brilliant. Where to start? Sunday battles.
Yeah.
I've got monstering full stop,
yeah.
fun full stop on my notes.
I was feeling pretty good Sunday morning. I barely had a drink the night before. I was way too busy wandering around Anvil, so I was pretty bright.
Smart.
Feeling good.
I actually forgot to take my meds on Sunday morning. I've just remembered, which for me it's not as bad as maybe for some other people, but yeah, it's a thing that happens apparently. So that was less than ideal.
Did that like bum you out for the battle, or?
Well, it's quite literally referred to as my focus juice. So I was a little bit concerned that my focus as a battle ref was going to be not there, but it was fine in the end.
Fantastic.
It's a very high intensity situation. I had nothing to worry about. But yeah, I did notice it and I was like, oh God. Can't believe I've done that.
Does that explain why so many Dornish knights died, or are those two unrelated?
That's how dare you. I actually wasn't assigned to Dawn this time. But no, it didn't have much of a difference. It's just it's one of the first times that I kind of came to an event and I had decided to take my meds. I don't have to take them every day, just to clarify everybody. Don't tell me off for not taking my medication. I am a grown adult. I do know what I'm doing. But yeah, I have been sort of planning on taking them just because it's a focused job to be battle ref. And I was like, I forgot. And also I feel more sleepy now. But it was fine. Got down to the gate, did all that stuff, chilled out. Super fine in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird. I was kind of like, I forgot that I have to like remember and think about that kind of thing here as well.
They're kind of maybe relatively minor compared to the number of players who are I can't speak. Help. Arse wrenchingly hungover to the point that they're puking in their masks and that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I think I same as you, so I think I've kind of sorted out the right limit. I was actually fairly drunk. For me, I was definitely like over tipsy by the time I finished Saturday night. It was quite late as well. It's like 3 a.m. by the time I got back to the tent. So I was a bit like, oh God, how's this going to go? Because I'm not very good on no sleep and having had alcohol. But I was actually fine in the morning. Had a little bit of food, had lots of liquids. And yeah, I think I'm starting, when you feel like you're starting to perfect the rhythm of the weekend, so you're not finding any one day you've just completely ruined because of the others. That's a nice feeling.
I have actually run into one player who shall remain nameless, who can actually drink heavily, like heavily by pretty much anybody's standards, not go to sleep until 5 a.m. and still function all weekend, and they actually just ship that tiredness onto the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I don't know how they do it.
Quite impressive.
Yeah, it's impressive.
That's insane.
Yeah, but anyway,
considering how tired we all were afterwards as well.
Yeah, it was an impressive skill set they have. But Sol, since you were on the actual sharp end of the battle, do you mind summing up what the hell we were doing there, apart from, monstering and having fun?
I don't know. I was rocking up. I believe it was Druge, and yeah, had a look at the loadout. I hadn't put any heavy armor on. It was just some light like leathers and things. And then I looked at the stats, and it was like I was playing Season 1 Farron again.
Season 1 Farron.
Yeah, it was Season 1 Farron. Basically the same stats as them. Maybe one more hit or so. It was great. Stay with me, Cleve. Let's go. Uh, um, we decided not to take the fight with the EMU this time,
Yep, that was fun.
but kind of
Oh.
formed our own little band.
Yeah, do you want to mention that? I don't think we mentioned that.
What?
What Finn is planning.
Well, we
Oh
don't
no,
need to mention that.
this
They-
wasn't Finn's. This was we got to the gate, realised we actually wanted to use the technical term gim around.
we liked having a little bit of fun. It's sometimes nice having a little bit of like agency to go with the flow of the battlefield, join the stuff that you want, and just see where it takes you. One of us had been given a like Druge magician role.
Yep, the
Uh,
Tepel,
Is
I
that the
think.
Goldie or Temple?
Oh,
No,
oh.
neither of those. I swear this one began with it was Citrix, right? That's what this one was.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. Something weird. I don't know. I believe it was something along those lines. But basically had like healing hands and a bunch of other like rituals for healing. We had quite a few healers, and we just went, screw it. We've got a healer block now. Let's just run up and down the lines and heal as we find.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And they were perfectly happy for us to just do that. So we had a band of like 10 of us, 15 of us. Couple more joined on as it went on, and yeah, we were a healing blob for a little bit. Role playing as a group name, the Tenderizers.
Tenderize, tear their eyes.
We were both tenderizing, mashing up the enemy, but also tender in our healing hands.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, we rocked on as those Black Scar members who didn't join the EMU joined our block, and the original plan was to be torturers. So we were just going to go around, basically like a hard RP gang, and anyone who was downed, say, hey, do you want to get tortured? I'm like, yeah. Start cutting off ears and stuff like that.
We did that anyway.
Yeah, we did that.
Mm.
Like, classic Jewish
Yes.
behavior, but like dedicated to it. And then Tadpole got his healing hands, and then we suddenly had agency, like Sol said,
Yep.
and we were useful and fun, which is the
It
ideal
was
combo.
good. Yeah. Because it was mostly like Black Scar, we went, should we use some of our classic calls? Let's just rehash them up. My favorite was tickle.
Yeah, tickle, tickle, tickle.
If
was,
we needed to get out of here and move somewhere else, we yelled tenderizers, tickle, 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 and then everyone would say tickle, tickle as we backed away, and it really creeped them out.
Yeah. Every single time we did it, the players were just like, "That's a trap." Especially the was it some of the Dornish? I think the Dornish and the Freeborn are fighting together, and the Dornish were going to run in. The Freeborn were like, "Stop! That's a trap." That is quite clearly a trap. Like, do not go anywhere close to them.
It was really interesting. I think we quickly learned that we needed to get basically Tadpole up to kind of the front line, start the ritual, and then do it to the line who are just fighting, because it wasn't really working. Because basically it meant that he could heal 13 people at once with the amount of
Whoa.
yeah, it was like full heal as well. But he has to count them in, then start the ritual. It's like a 2-minute ritual, and then bam, they're all fully healed. So we basically went behind lines, chose the 13 that he was healing, began the ritual, and then bam. It was great, actually. It was a really good moment. Justin was in one of the lines playing as a Druge, tall guy in Navarre, big loud mouth. If you don't know him, I'm surprised. But he was literally, fighting as Justin likes to do, getting really stuck in, and suddenly he kind of falls back out there, and immediately Tadpole's there and just goes full restore, and he's like, right then, and just immediately bounces back in. It was great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What more could you want?
So pretty effective. It was pretty fun. It was quite a fluid battle. There was a lot moving about.
All forest pretty much. With we were on the main field for the first 5 to 10 minutes maybe, but we fell back after that. we had the Tenderizers had a noble and totally not cowardly sprint towards the gate to avoid getting cut off on the main field, and that was quite exhilarating. It's just this healer unit armed with sticks and stuff like that, just absolutely pegging it for the gate after all of our friends have been butchered by the Imperials.
Yeah. But then as soon as we got through that gate, it was kind of a different story, right?
Yeah, they had a tough time.
Stretched out far as well. To be fair, I have been in military council the whole time, but I still wasn't quite sure what they were there to do, and I didn't really care at the time. All that I saw was basically just a long line of Imperials stretched out into the forest,
Mm.
and a lot of Druze just about. It was it was interesting. Was never really sure which line was like the front, you know.
Yeah, because they came in from the forest gate and, as usual, ballooned out. But after that, we had whole units of them, sort of 30 to 50, roaming behind the lines, running into our reinforcements, and
30
Yeah,
to 50 feral Imperials.
some feral Imperials.
Oh, it's a reference to the 30 to 50 feral hogs meme from a while ago.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry. Well done to anyone who's listening who got that.
oh, you can tell it's a late one.
That's
Um,
one
we're all quite
BSD point
tired.
to them.
Um,
But yeah,
but yeah, like it stretched out. I felt like it was pretty tough fighting, I think, on our side for the first half.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was. We just kept losing ground. Like we tried to. We all got separated after the main gate was lost, and then I think Reese was holding a bush. There was
Just a bush,
just
yeah,
okay.
entangling every single Imperial to come through.
Yeah, it's this huge bit of bracken, and then there's a sort of one-person wide gap in the middle for one person to comfortably fight, but not two. Two people shoulder to shoulder, and he was sat there with a staff, and he had paralyze. And
No,
what
it
we
was entangled.
was it entangle? Half my bad.
Yeah,
He had
not proud of
entangle,
that.
and he would just bonk people who came through that gap, and he just sat there holding it most of the battle, which was pretty fun. He had a great time
Yeah,
doing it. But the other thing we didn't mention was the marshlings knocking around as well. The smaller parts of a marsh walker, sort of gribbly, camo-suited monsters with long claws, and they were very hungry indeed.
they were what really changed the battle when they came in. I
Yeah,
don't know about you, but it really changed the vibe.
they really changed the vibe.
They really changed the vibe. I actually didn't know there were any marshlings in that. I must have known at the time, but I never really saw them.
Oh, we saw
Maybe
them.
they weren't on my front.
They're wearing camo suits, so pretty hard to see.
Yeah, I know what they normally look like. We
But,
were
yeah.
all we were assigned to different nations this time, mostly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of spread out a bit, so I was just with the League the whole time. So I didn't see what happened with Dawn.
You got to see quite a
didn't see
lot
you
of
guys.
the Marsh Walkers were up to, though, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So there were just, I guess, the high-level bullet points of this battle to give context to the next 5-minute rant is that there were a lot of Imperial casualties on this battle. I think 30 plus, which doesn't
There
sound
were a
like
lot going
much.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, and what happened is towards the end, the latter third and the end of the battle, the Druze actually dragged them to a glade and just dumped them there, and there were rows and rows of dead Imperials. It was literally a mass grave. However, not all of them got there. One particular Dornish knight who had heroically charged the line, broken through, then been beaten down by the medics and the water bearers, maybe less noble than he expected, found himself lying on the floor in the near vicinity of a marshwalker. Now, marshwalkers are hungry, very, very hungry, and after waiting for him to bleed out and become defenseless, ate the chap. The Jews just stood around staring as this Dornish knight got fucking eaten by one, and we were like, "Oh wow, that's metal." And he went bite by bite, screaming and screaming and screaming, and that was when the vibe changed, and the Jews really started to, sort of regain ground and started to do a lot of damage. A lot
There
of
is
the
nothing like the momentum of just knowing that you're doing really well because you're murdering
Quite
people
fun,
horribly.
isn't it?
yeah.
We then we then managed to pick up a lovely freeborn
Oh,
with a big
yes.
shield, and take him around for a tour of the front line.
Oh, should have
Wait,
got their
what?
name. So we found basically every casualty Sol and I found. We we got up to them and said, "Hey, are you you bleeding out or are you dead? And they get, a lot of them said terminal. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Do you want to get tortured from your friends?" They're like, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Right." So just checked a few things like happy being touched. The stage
Yep.
thing where you pretend to pull someone's head. You make a fist and put the knuckles down on their
And then
scalp,
they
and
pull it down. Yeah.
exactly they direct you. I said, "Right." I'd look at him and I'd sort of pretend to yank up his head and show his throat, being cut because we had all the fake blood still, which
Yeah.
like carrying a bottle of fake blood, 100% big brain move. Love it.
I
Awesome.
genuinely need to start doing that because I always feel like I get no fake blood on me every time I get hit.
Yeah.
And then I go around asking for it, and I'm like, ah, shame.
Yeah, it's
You're the good stuff.
yeah, it's decent stuff. And
Did you use the blood capsules?
oh yeah, I used those all weekends. Like
Yeah.
Perfect.
Linda got fucked up on the Saturday battle, as we said in the last episode, and was just dribbling red for like 6 hours.
I used one of the blood capsules after accidentally cutting my own mouth on a knife doing bite. So,
What?
yeah.
Which doing bite was this? Was this Friday night or Saturday morning?
What do you mean, which?
That was the
Baron,
rebound.
what are you doing? You're going off the rails.
Oh,
Yeah,
you didn't know
first it
about
was
this?
Hunger of the Draga. Now I need something hardcore.
Now
you
it's
know?
bite. First he was
Yeah, it was
biting
great.
things, now he
We
just wants
took
to
him round. I think we chopped his
snort
ear
stuff.
off. We gouged a finger off. It was great. He was having a great time. And we kind of just there was a couple of more pushes. I think at one point this poor, I don't even know what nation he was. I'm afraid to say. I couldn't tell. Normally I'd just go winter marker, but it can't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably Varushka. I think it was that kind of vibes.
Mhm.
But yeah, this poor guy made a little bit of a sprint for it. Got left by his friends. Got put down by Hood the orc, and well, we just stood over him and went, "You terminal yet?" Nope, still counting. He was like, "Oh, do you want to be tortured?" Yeah, well, hurry up then. And it was at that point. I mean, poor guy. Honestly, one of the Druge ritualists come up and go, "Have you tasted Druge venom before?"
Oh no, those are lethal. Like actually.
And he went,
lethal.
"No." And he went, "Well, right then." Venom. And I was just like, poor guy.
Oh shit, he's
What a way
hurrying
to
up now.
go.
Yeah. I think he went and joined the rest of the pile, but I kind of left him after that. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, there were a decent amount of solo deaths, which are relatively rare. I feel like what usually happens is
if
a
you go down,
pocket
you
of
normally go down in a group.
like 5 or 6. They're the tail end of a retreat because PSA here: if you're falling back, don't walk. The more you walk, the more people need to walk the labyrinth. If you walk, it slows down everybody else because it just that kind of like slowdown just concatenates across the line, and then the people at the back can't go anywhere and they get chopped to shit, and that's how people die. And it's typically 5 or 6 because that's the width of a rank. Anyway, salt aside, that's usually how they go down. But it was lots of 1s and 2s this time round, which was mainly because the lines were really shifting a lot, like a lot.
And I think that's the typical Druge way, right? Is people don't want to overextend too much in that because they could just be in the bush right there, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I think
the
a lot
Druge are
in that
hard to
sense,
fight against.
yeah, even on
especially in
the
the woods. Yeah.
I'm breaking my own rule and jumping back to Saturday very briefly, but one of the skirmishes we went on, it was like the 5:30. They hit a unit of 40 Druge inside a bush, and then they Finn and I ran into them. I
Wow.
think I remember saying it like contact right 40, and the Navarre were like, oh, there's not 40 in there, and out they come like a Pokeball full of rats, like just into the space.
Did you just me?
And then just burst into us. And
Pokeball full of rats.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you think there's an Ivysaur in there, but no, the Ivysaur was dead because the rats got in there as well, ate him, reproduced, and now there's like 50 rats in there, and yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, but anyway, Pokemon aside, back to LARP. The Druge, doing the same on this battle, would lead people into ambushes and then gank them. and these people got ganked pretty hard. I think, yeah, it was just around about 30. I'm trying to think of. I want to talk about the
There were quite
corpse
a lot
blade.
of character deaths, yeah.
I think there was. Oh, that was it. When Sol and I were torturing the freeborn warrior, one of the archers tried to shoot at us, and we just dodged out the way. And it was like, oh, if you could aim better, maybe your friend wouldn't be dead.
Oh, you meanies.
It was a fantastic battle for dropping shade on the Imperials, and yeah, a lot of fun. Which does lead me to the
Well,
corpse.
that's the whole Druge stick, isn't it? You want to enrage your enemy. You want to
Demoralize them. Yeah.
poke at them, demoralize them, tire them out, confuse them. It's not about just who fights better. It's all the other things, which does make them so much more fun to
And
monster as.
dangerous, like really dangerous to deal with. Like
Yeah,
one
they're like
thing.
Yagara, but more because they'll just run off. Yagara will at least probably stay and fight.
Yeah.
And just get rolled. But Druge will be like, ha ha ha, bye.
I'm
We're off
yet
now.
to see it, but a bunch of Druge pretending to be dead, and then getting up.
Ooh.
Like just 10 of them, just around about
You know
around
what?
a bush.
It must be really hard as a monstering commander to run a Druge battle because there's so many little pockets of Druge monsters just running around doing whatever.
Yeah.
Like just doing whatever.
Yeah. Maybe you don't
Because
care. You
that's
just
Druge.
yeah, you just brief them to do, and you turn up when there's large blobs and throw them at the enemy because you still need a front line. But
Yeah.
yeah, just letting them go off and do their own thing might be, it's like a
It's
individual
probably,
unit
the
command.
most practical. That being said, there were a few things that I have to comment on when it came to the monstering, but maybe we'll get to the end of it before covering that.
Gotcha. The other major thing was the actual corpse pile itself. I had a fucking great time there. The Imperials had fair and square pushed the Druge up into the woods, and I just died, respawned, and came back. And I come up to the corpse pile, and the Imperial line is maybe about 15 meters away. And at this point, I'm like, haha, time to cause mischief. So I squat down in my usual, mischief squat, right? And start talking to the Imperials like, oh, it's okay. You're going to die soon. Very soon. And oh, look, it's your friends who couldn't help you. Do you still love them? Do you think they still love you?
God.
If they really loved you, wouldn't they be here instead of me? That kind of thing. And so,
Mentally manipulate these poor dying characters.
Yeah, it's Druge time,
it is
Druge time,
it's
baby.
Druge time. Yeah, it's fully Druge time. And some of the Dornish knights are trying to be stoic, and one of the freeborn warriors, she just looked at me and went, "Fuck you," and just held up her middle fingers just as hard as she could. I was like, "Now that's fighting spirit. Maybe if you'd shown that 20 minutes ago, you'd still be alive." Just every single thing they did, I was like, "Wow, if you'd done that earlier, you would be dead." And
God.
yeah, riding them up was a lot of fun. I think Riz was next to me because basically the Imperials showed up, and I was like, shit, I'm not fighting on a pile of people. That is asking to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And he was like, no,
Yeah.
mate, just don't take the contact. But you don't need to leave. And I was like, hoo, 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 hoo. So then started heckling the I think for the
Oh, you mean
Varishkans.
like if they came for you, you would have left, but
Yeah, if they
you
came
had to
within
leave before
striking
then.
distance. And some of them,
Yeah.
respecting the stones of some of these Imperials, they walked forwards and started tending to their dead. And I was just squatting about 2 meters away from them. And I wasn't attacking them, but they didn't attack me either. And I was just heckling like, oh, you're here for your friend. If only you'd been here sooner. If only. Gosh, you should have heard them scream. My ears are literally bleeding. It was orgasmic, and proper mustache twiddling evil supervillain comments. And one of them started actually crying.
oh no, Chris!
And they just identified their friend in this pile of literal pile of bodies.
Oh my
Like just referencing E3, that skirmish went on to kill the summer horror. There was just loads of dead Druge at the end, and Lindir walking out going, "Wow, war is terrible." It was being on a reverse moment of that, where it's like, "Ha, I've just seen someone break, and they've seen their friends die, and now someone is kicking them when they're down," and it felt really, really good. Not gonna lie, it felt powerful. I see why people, like sadistic kids trap spiders and stuff in jars because, yeah, that's proper Druge energy. But
I think if it was real life, you wouldn't feel quite the same way.
No,
no,
probably not.
100% not. I do not intend to go to any active war zone and start doing this on people's graves.
No, I was thinking more about spiders.
Also
You never
that,
know
yeah,
what our halogens might be watching.
yeah, the spiders in my flat kind of just chill with me. They're pretty cool. They eat all the
They're
bugs,
just chill.
so yeah, they stick
So,
to the
I
corners.
think I
It's
ended
fair.
up losing most of you for like around that time where the Imperials had pushed up. I did see myself kind of just on my own, and I was just going around picking people off where I could. It was quite fun. Playing the Ambi game for quite a while means that's all I ever do
Mhm.
is find someone unsuspecting, run up behind them, and finish them off.
Mm.
And yeah, I think it was Urizen were pushing up, and I went, yeah, this is my time. They pushed up way too far. I think I was with Pete. I think he and Znort was just behind me. We went, yeah, I went, yeah, this is it. There were like 3 of them with their back to me, charging in there. Bam, bam, bam. First one down. Bam, bam. Second one down. Bam, bam, bam. Third one down, and then finally they wrap me, like skewer me down, push me over. I'm on the floor, bleeding out, going ah. And finally, one comes up to me, staff at my neck. Doesn't actually put it on my neck, but holds it there, twists it round, and yells "execute." And I went, "Yep, that was deserved."
Blah.
What an end.
It was good end, yeah. It felt good. It really did. I did feel like it was my final charge, and I made the most of it. And I hope those players enjoyed it. That's the main thing.
It looked like a really fun battle. Like just monstering it was fun. Imagine
Yeah.
being an Imperial because it's sad when your character dies, but if if you die in a cool way, worth it. Like the Dornish Knight getting eaten by a fucking marshling, like chunk by chunk. What a story to tell people once you get to OC time. Like totally
I mean,
awesome.
also, like, there are battles that are dull and you die in the retreat because you fall down and a whole bunch of other people fall down, and then you're kind of just dead because you're dead. Like, you haven't battled to death.
Yeah.
But that one in the forest did seem like it was people who were fighting and fighting and then just getting outfought or overwhelmed and
Yeah.
dying that way. Like, they actually just lost and it was a fighting end.
Yeah. I
As
think
much
so.
as you can expect a, heroic death in the Empire.
Sometimes
was
they're
good.
shit, but this was it's a good battle. And
That wasn't the last of me though.
Oh.
I did go back, and it was out of the woods. I got to essentially respawn. They just called for a few more people just to come up and
Oh,
essentially
yes.
make a heckling line just
Yep.
outside of the gate. Just as the Imperials came out, just be heckling them, and with specific commands. Don't push. We're leaving them. Get them off our land. That kind of thing. We don't want them fighting here for another. It was a long battle as well. After ours had gone really quickly,
Yeah.
they took their sweet
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it
And
was
kudos
a
to them. Whoever was field marshalling on Sunday, whilst the tactical acumen of prolonged engagements is often negative, the fun aspect, mwah.
that would have been Zoran of Dawn, who I believe lost several close family members and at one point
Yeah.
charged into the fray and left his second behind to actually field marshal so that Dawn would do what he wanted to do. So a bit of an
Based.
intense one.
Based,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But fully well done.
Yeah, the
Unless there was anything else on that battle, I think the pinnacle of it for me was the last few moments where next to me there was the Marcher EMU. Now, they had been going around as essentially some kind of ritualist block. They also
Right.
had a couple of thralls who the entire time were bitching at each other, and it was quite funny. All the way to this point where one of them, I think it was Harry, basically pushed the other one towards the Imperial line, using him as a body shield for him to get cut down and then sprinted back to the group. He killed this other thrall
Oh my god.
by offering them up as sacrifice, and then proceeded to get berated and beat by the rest of the EMU. It was great fun.
Incredible.
It was a good ending.
Incredible.
Really sums them up.
What more could you want, you know?
Exactly. Bit of fun, you know, and
Yeah.
not just you know, marcher.
I
Yeah,
love
type
thralls on the
of-
battlefield. I love being opposite them. I love fighting with them. I love watching them. They're just great. It's such a variety for a battlefield. Like it's not just fight, 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 fight. There's some like little people scampering around doing whatever. You can, you know, either you hate them, you target them, or you just try and convince them to come to your side. It just adds that little bit extra flavor
Adds layers,
to
yeah.
every battlefield. Yeah, it does. You know, you have healers and whatever, but the thralls just running around, and they are having such a fun time. No one who plays a thrall is having a bad time. Like you just love life for the experience, the time that you're there,
Yeah,
and it shows, and it just brings up the whole thing. It's amazing.
I remember pre-COVID, there was one event, Matty, you were a thrall, and I was trying to do archery,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Yes, master, I'll get your arrows." You'd run into the middle of this pike
God, that
fight,
was such a good time.
like forward roll.
I didn't know it was
commando crawl.
you as well.
Oh, really?
I
Oh, you were
literally,
so
yeah, I was
polite.
just. Well, I know. I was just there were so many people, so many masks, and you just don't know who's under them. So I was literally just doing that to everyone, running around in the front lines, trying to get as many arrows as I could. And yes, they were checked by the archers. But yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I just walk into the center of this like standoff two lines and just start grabbing arrows as
Yeah.
much as possible.
No
It
one
was so
shot at you.
freeing.
Yeah,
It was
you were just
great.
charmed. I was watching you go, "Damn, this thrall is
Yeah, I
good."
was having so much fun. I was like, yeah, I could just wander around. Woo! Like it feels like going into it's going into battle without your armor, right?
Yep.
And there's something really liberating about it. It's
Ah.
great. It's so worth it.
I think final highlight for me from the Sunday battle was after the Imperials had pushed us off the corpse pile. Varushka formed this vanguard and screened out what remained of the Drusian of Forest, and so we're yelling at them and doing the usual heckling, like, "Oh, gosh, you're so brave! Look at your courage! If only your friends had been there to witness it," like, that kind of stuff. And one of them's like, "I've had
But
it's
you
actually."
really went all in for this
I
one.
honestly, I live to be Druge. It's fucking awesome. But a player called Sam, they actually did an episode with me about Varushkan Wardens, like a little while back. I'd say it's probably only like 2 episodes ago now. Go and listen. It's interesting. But they were on the front line, proper heroic. I think changeling with the thinner horns, because Cambion are thick ram horns, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Changeling are antlers and
Yeah.
Camions are horns.
Yeah, proper changeling energy. We're just yelling at each other. And one of the Varushkan archers is just lurking around and puts this beautiful shot straight into my nose. and like,
Amazing.
I'm always conflicted with so the rules are with archery, you get hit in the head, you just hit one global hit. That's it. Impale doesn't apply to the head. There's no other rules on the head. And the OC reason is to dissuade people from headshotting people, because
that's not just archery. That's all hits.
Very true. And but at the same time, taking an arrow to the face, it's kind of like sometimes someone like cleaves you on the throat. Like they come up to you to parry you, and you go cleave, and they place it, between like your shoulder and your ear, and you're just like, and you just fall dead. But I wasn't sure what to do with this, because I was like, well, I'm on full hits, and I'm going to play by the rules, but at the same time, I've got to give that archer respect. So I stagger. I was actually like I was behind a layer of shields. I was on the 2nd rank, just yelling and like popping my head up over like an angry Diglett. And this archer shot me in the snoz. And I was like, "Oh, my nose! The bastard's broken my nose!" and all the orcs like, "Oh my god, is he actually okay?" And all the Imperials like, "Way!" He's like, and the archer was, there was a sense of one saying, "Are you all right?" And I gave him the thumbs up of the international symbol of nothing is broken, and then proceeded to stagger into the front line and start shrieking at him like, "That one! Now I'm angry. That one needs to die. All of his friends were easy, but that one's dying." And he's like sniggering away as he runs off. And it was an awesome moment. So at that point, basically, my rage triggers a charge, Uh, we
Oh
sort
my God.
we don't really charge, but we advance to combat because everyone's riled up. And then because I've literally got myself a mace, like it's a one-handed mace. I wield with two hands, and I go around tenderizing people, right? So the spears are kind of jabbing at each other, and Sam gets their antlers knocked off as we're fighting. And, puts them back on because obviously they're a prop. But it's a perfect moment, like, haha, lose your antlers, you got my nose, I got your face, and like that kind of stuff, and just shrieking behind the much better equipped and well armored Druge around me, and that was a really golden moment. Then we lost, we fled. I was cut down in a retreat, and this Imperial Orc spent a good 8 to 10 minutes torturing me. Now, this was
Whoa,
surprising.
really?
Yeah, she took my tongue,
Ooh.
my eyes, some of my organs and stuff like that, and I was like, oh my
I mean,
god.
they were full of rage during that. To be fair, I think the Imperial Orcs lost half their field fighting force
Oh really?
in that battle. Yeah, yeah, half of the Imperial Orcs that took the battlefield, I think, did not come back. It
Bloody
was a
hell.
significant fight for the Imperial Orcs.
Didn't even
Yeah,
see their bodies. Gosh, that's higher than
yeah.
30 losses then. Whew.
I'm well aware what it's like.
I think it was something like 7 Imperial Orcs, but they only fielded about 14. So yeah, it was a
Blimey.
lot. And there were, some good, well-known faces, well liked. So I think they were probably a little unhappy with you all.
Yeah, they got me good. I missed what you were going to say, Sol. Sorry.
I said I'm well aware what it's like torturing Druge, as Farron has quite a few trophies himself.
You do, yeah. You have some questionable tongues and fingers, don't you?
Yeah, mainly Druge. I love fighting the Druge. It's where I go full feral. And
A feral
yeah,
human.
I always lose my voice because all I can yell is "fuck the Druge."
Mm.
It's great.
So you scamper around
Um,
on all fours with a knife in your mouth.
Pretty much.
that is basically what I can see Sol doing that right now.
Mm.
As Farron, to be honest. Not even as
Yeah.
Druge. Or as Druge as well. As anything, any excuse to scamper around on all fours with a knife in your mouth,
Yeah,
right?
at like 30
Entirely.
miles an hour. Like minimum 30 miles an hour.
Yeah. In fact, that's what you're doing this weekend, isn't
Every weekend, yeah.
it? Just going for a scamper around the countryside. Don't mind me.
So other than the battle, I think my Sunday was really quiet. I think I basically concluded everything. What?
Yeah.
Nope. The one thing I hadn't managed to do all weekend was Merciless Wrath. So that's what I had to go and get done.
Oh yes.
That was that was the last tick box for my E4, and yeah, managed to do that by the Regio. And bam, it felt good. Achieved a lot. It's like, yep, can rest now.
Mm-hmm. No, I managed to get mine off very last minute. I think I came out of military council and I was like, it's about half an hour, maybe
Yeah.
40 minutes left of the event. So I legged it up to God in order to change my resource, which I had got stuck in such a long queue. I was just like, oh my God, because everyone was trying to put their money in. And I was sort of thinking like this really could be 2 queues at this point. And it essentially was. Like at the beginning, people split into the 2 queues anyway. Sorry, at the end. But I was just like, Anyway, got it sorted super quickly. Ran back to Blackjack, who did Mine and Silks on the spot in the Marchers camp. Managed to buy some mana right there. Didn't have to go up to the Regio or do anything else. Didn't even have to go to God to register it because he managed to do it with their egregore. Perfect. Super good. Managed to do it right at the end. Because I've been meaning to do that the entire weekend. I
Yeah.
just kept forgetting.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
So
difficult.
my God, I'm glad that I managed to get that in because otherwise I wouldn't have had the downtime option I wanted.
Yeah, I had similar but not the same, because I'm not cool enough to have a merciless military unit. I do have a forest full of dragonbone that is now a group of shadowy spectres. I chose a certain freeborn corsair kind of shape, but with a horse skull instead of a human one. And they're
Nice.
running around in Brokeliand at the moment as a rank 7 MU.
Oh my God.
Absolutely dench. They are unbelievable. the ritual was actually pretty cool.
Oh
Again,
yeah,
last
you
minute
said.
affair, but sort of asking me to describe the forest and describe where it was, and I do like doing my bit of lore reading for like where things are from and like the geography of the
Mhm.
empire.
Yeah.
Despite not even doing geography at GCSE, I definitely would have listened
Same.
if it was like fantasy geography. Like if your teacher walks in and like, right, today we're talking about the topography of Mordor, I would have
Yeah.
100% stuck with that until A level. But anyway, the
Mhm.
got to go into the first time ever being asked around my backstory without directly being asked for my backstory. It was wonderful, and the ritual itself was really cool. Right in the songs and storytime circle. It was one of those unique occasions as well where someone I was looking for a particular ritualist, couldn't find them, but a friend just said, "Oh, they'll be back in 10 minutes." I was like, "Well, I'm not going to see them this side of this year." Go off and get a cake. I come back just to check in, and they're waiting for me. They got there about a minute
Oh my
beforehand,
God.
and I was like, "Ah, it's been 10 minutes. Look at that!" In that exact voice.
Incredible. That's how shocked you were that someone was findable in Anvil.
Oh my God! Hi, it's Dravid. In that voice, and
It's true.
yeah, we got the ritual done, and I felt like a boss. Felt pretty good. Downtime is going to be tasty.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You thought I was
Yes,
dead
it
again,
is.
Matty, because I was.
I
know.
did, because you didn't have any of your face paint on. And you gave me this weird look when I came up and said hi. And I was like, no.
I was.
What do you mean? He
No.
saluted you as general, and you were like, no.
No, there was definitely something that he said that was like not the same as before, though, because he's been saluting me as general all weekend. And I was like, there's something weird right now, and I don't know what it is.
It's his
I was so
face.
confused.
His face is not
Well,
covered in
literally,
can
yeah,
cream.
you didn't have the same face paint as always.
Yeah. God, that stuff is a
It was
bitch to
very
do.
strange.
I might tone it down. I might do 3 lines instead of 4 next time. But
Mhm.
I could do a whole episode on, fucking finger length of paint. But anyway, yeah, yeah. Me and some of the, for context, me and some of
Yeah.
the new players who joined us in Black Scar, we were lying by the Moorish tent, just in the middle of the street, just reclining on the floor in the shade. It was lovely. Having a drink of water and just chatting. It was the first time. I think the final 45 minutes of E4, I actually had nothing to do. The rest of it was rush,
Yeah.
rush, rush, trying to get something done. And this was the only moment we actually stopped, conveniently, just before the end. And yeah,
Yeah.
scared you with my attention to detail, Mom.
Jeez. I know. It was very spooky, but it's alright. It was all fine in the end, eh?
Indeed, yeah, not dying again, hopefully, for a little bit. Point 8. But anyway, yeah, that wraps up my points. Anybody else
I
have
think so.
anything to
Me
add?
too.
Yeah, it was a sad end to the event in the military council tent because there were quite a few big deaths.
Mm.
So it was bizarre. It's very exciting. The tent is a lot of new people, myself included. But even like E4, there were a load of new faces. Some of who I got to meet, some of who I haven't yet, and there will be even more next summit. So it's intriguing what's going on in all the game. There's just so many ins and outs nowadays. But yeah. And then we went for a lovely walk around in the aftermath, didn't we, Chris?
Oh, that was lush,
Very
yeah.
nice.
You got me a hot dog.
I was so tired and so
A
hungry.
bag of bread.
Just could not face packing down or looking at anyone for at least like 20 minutes. And it ended up being an hour because you got the bag of bread, yeah, and we used it as a pillow to sit down for a bit.
Yeah, for anybody listening who fancies some free scran, there is a bunch of traders, obviously, in the OC area. And if you go near timeout, because they're packing up, they have excess stock a lot of the time. My favorite fact from working in the food industry, actually, story for another time, or buy me a pint. 33% of food produced is wasted. It's heinous. I hate it. Very strong problem with it. But when they were offering these bags of about 50 hot dog rolls, and for
I was
those of
gonna
you who
say
had the hot dogs, they're sort of like they're foot long rolls. They're chunky boys, and
Yeah, they
they
were big.
bags of 50, and they're like, it's gonna go in the bin if you don't take it. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna eat that much bread. It's good for about a day or two, but fuck it, let's try it. So I took a whole bag of bread, a sack of it, and we laced around by the Sentinel Gate, chatting about the event. Somebody came back
Yeah, it
from a
was
run
really
as
nice.
well. Someone had been for a
Yeah,
jog.
there was some lady running around, like just in a proper like sports gear.
Yeah, not sure if they'd like changed for pack down and they were running to rush, but they just looked like a
It looked
jogger.
like a
Yeah,
yeah. We were wondering if
confused.
maybe it was like someone who lives at the farm or something had just gone for a run or something. No idea. It was really weird.
Yeah, but yeah, that brings us to the final section of the episode, which is scoring. So
Please remind me how this works.
sure thing. Did not plant that question. So we've got 5 categories, scoring them each out of 10. The first is kit and camping. The second is hard kits, like your armor, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, combat.
Yeah, third is combat RP. Fourth is non-combat RP, and 5 is overall. And we
Mhm.
in the patented Shatterscone scheme of scoring it on the drive on the way back to London, how we would typically do it is per point you've got to give a bullet point. But I feel
Yeah.
like for brevity we can do it like, 1 bullet point for 2 points, if you get what I mean. So 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
you got to give me 5 quick bullet points on why it was wicked.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we usually find that this actually generates a whole other conversation, so straight away.
That's why we've shoved it in with Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
Right.
Sol, do you want to lead us off?
I can do kit and camping. To be fair, out of these 5, I think the other 4 are probably higher than this one, purely because I think this is the one that you can always do more with. You know, there's
Uh-huh.
always more kit or more camping stuff. To
Yeah,
sort
there's always tweaks and improvements to be
So
made.
it's not like this. It was bad at all. I was sleeping IC. You know, Farron's kit is very much Farron, but you know what I want to improve before E4, and this is all before I give a number. What I want to improve before E4, as you already mentioned, I need some more fake blood just on me at all
Mm,
At all times, eh?
all times. It's required. Face paint. I actually want to sort out my my markings a little bit better. Just kind of
Yeah.
tidy it up a little bit. There's a lot going on, and I think I could do a little bit better on that front.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a number of like bits of trim and other projects like half finished that I haven't completed for Farron. That I want to get to the bottom of. So there's that one too, and I want an orc mask.
oh, yes.
Good idea, yeah.
So not really on the camping side. Camping side was all good. More on just general kit side. So I'm going for like a 7. I'm going
Nice.
for a 7. I'm happy, but spaces and things I definitely want to like improve for the next LARP year. You know.
Mm. All right.
Do you
Should
want
we?
me to do all of them, or just do
Ooh.
kit and camping first?
Let's go for it line by line, because actually your ideas have made me think about mine properly. So yeah, actually that's a good shout. Matty, kit and camping.
Okay, so camping wise, the tent had water inside it, which was not ideal.
Oof.
That's not
It's
good.
not our tent, so we're still borrowing a tent at the moment. And I was super grateful everyone puts like it had been put up before I was even there, which was amazing because for various OC reasons I arrived late and in a bit of a hurry. So that was awesome. But yeah, definitely next time I will try and just tighten up the ropes and stuff so that it's actually properly extended because I suspect it was something to do with the fact that it was a bit saggy on the sides. So some water probably came through the vent areas because even though they're zipped closed, water can still get through them.
Oh yeah, like the
But
frilly
that was a
bits on the
bit
side.
frustrating. Yeah, exactly. So that was a bit frustrating, but what can you do? It wasn't so much considering how much rain there was on that very first day. It really wasn't that bad. It wasn't the best flatness either of the area that we were in this time. So it wasn't very comfortable. I've had much better night's sleep before. So that's worth thinking about. I might see if I can get maybe like a camp bed to put my camp mat on top of or something. I don't know. Something to be thought of over the long dark, basically. But size-wise, still loving having a 4 meter instead of a 3 meter. Makes so much difference. Oh
Mm.
my god. I actually had all my kit this time,
Hey.
thanks to you and and also Keelan for picking up the coat, and Martin, as always, for bringing all of the rest of it. That coat is a life changer. It's amazing. I loved the coat I had before, but it was very, very winter mark. This one just leans on the Navarre side without me having to like sort out DIYing the one that I already had. As for like actual kit, now I like my kit how it is. I really liked it at E3 in particular, but I don't think it screams what I want it to scream anymore. So I'm actually redesigning my entire kit in the next couple of weeks. I want to try and get it sorted by the time it comes to player events, basically. So that's going to be fun. I'll keep certain bits and change other bits around. But yeah, it's working pretty well. I'm still really happy with my armor and stuff as well. That's definitely working pretty well. Like to get maybe something to stop me getting cleaved in the knee so often. That would be great.
That's the next point. You've
Yeah.
skipped the point.
Oh, what?
Get back in
I love
line.
How could you do this? How?
Oh, you've
in
changed
line.
the. It's because you change the things every time. Right. Okay. Well,
Whoa,
still stuff
whoa.
kit. I had the same issue with tattoos. Like, I'm still tweaking the ones that I've got bit by bit every time. I think I'm probably going to transition over to getting some more of those like print out transfer tattoos.
Yep.
Because they stay really well. I just design them, and then I think Chris Melvin does all the printing of a whole bunch of them. If I ask nicely, I'm sure he'll put some stuff in on that.
Yeah.
I liked the new bit of tattoo that I added, the one that I've taken as to signify the whole general thing, which is like looks like a spear over my eye. That actually worked really, really well. It's just the other ones I'm not so keen on right now, and also the war paint was not good. It's really bold and it looks really scary, and that's great, but the diagonal of it, like I've in so many pictures with it now, and it just doesn't look how I want it to look. So I'm gonna probably change that one back to something else again.
Yeah, because we did this
Same
pre-battle
with hair and
because
stuff.
you really liked it at E3 when it was a few degrees off the vertical, but that was it. But this was more
No,
like sort of
so
45 this
E3
time.
was E3 I also wasn't sure about because it wasn't very visible. The way that it was done with the fake blood, but it wasn't super visible. Like the E2 one, the one that I had my Facebook profile picture from previously, that was amazing. That's what we had at Walk Longest Path.
Yeah.
Which was just your red snaz, 2 fingers down the face. It was fantastic. The reason I didn't want it on this one was because I had other things across my face already that I didn't have before, so I didn't really want to like take them off and then redo them. But I think I'm just going to have to suck it up if I want it to look like that, or change things up completely. Who knows? War paint, you can change it. It doesn't really matter what it looks like time to time, does it? So much as the ones that are supposed to actually be tattoos. So
True. Yeah, that's the. I mean, if you need more real estate on your face, just shave your hair. Top piece
is that
of
your
advice.
top tip?
That is my top tip. And then B, yeah, you're right. Sort of, it's very difficult in Nevada, the differentiation between things like brands, which are burn marks, tattoos, which are meant to be permanent, and then temporary war paint, when in fact all of
Yeah.
it is snaz, is
Yeah.
is difficult.
I mean, the brand that we have, or the scarring that we
Really
will have
cool.
for the Black Scar Thornbound works really well. I'm so happy with that. Like it just looks good. It's subtle, but it's there. Like I really like that. It's just the rest of it I've got to figure out. So yeah, maybe some more temp tattoos. The one that I got of the Izella's Dance army logo on my hand lasted for like 2 weeks after the event. I had to like scrub it off
Oh, nice.
because it was just sticking on my hand so much, and I was kind of didn't want to take it off. But yeah, it really lasted.
It's cool.
But whatever hairspray I used obviously is a bit sparkly because it made it really sparkly. It's really funny. And there you go. That's me for kit and camping, I believe.
What's
Yeah.
the number?
What's my number?
numbers, Mason.
The numbers. I'm probably gonna give it. If the camping brings it down, the kit is fine, but brings it down, I'm gonna give it something like a 4, to be
Oh
honest.
wow,
That's fair.
Lots of improvements to be made. It was very fine for what it was, But yeah, lots of improvements to be made.
Gotcha.
Go on then, Chris. Your turn.
Alrighty. So, first negative was bedding. I made the silly decision to not bring up my single fold-out camp bed, as you mentioned in your one, Matty. Having one of those is lovely because it gets you off the floor. It's
I
a
had one.
sturdy structure, and I always have one. And this time I was
See,
like,
I find them uncomfortable generally, but I'm intrigued.
they're not the comfiest, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't stay on one in the Rit, but at the same time, it's better than the floor I ended up sleeping on. Because I was like, oh, I
Wait,
could be really
what?
big brain. Yeah, so here's the story, right? I don't bring it up because I thought, well, I might need to get like a double airbed or something for a variety of reasons. But the problem with that is that I wasn't able to buy one in the local Tesco's, the Argos, or anything like that. And I was like, ah, shit. And luckily, I'd brought
Oh,
a
you
backup.
didn't actually buy one in time.
I couldn't. Yeah, I was like, I'll just buy one. I'll get one in Warwick, and I didn't because I was distracted. And then
Ah, nice.
I'll get one on site, and I didn't because there wasn't one. At E3 there was a pile of camping stuff in the Tesco, and at E4 there was not. So rip.
Mm.
So yeah,
British summer versus autumn.
indeed.
Yeah.
So luckily, because I'm not totally smooth-brained, I brought a single air mattress, and it deflated loads. It's a piece of crap. So I'd probably get about 3 hours of sleep before ending up on the floor, and then I'd just have to wake up, try and get a bit comfier, and then tough it out for the remaining 3 hours of the night. And that wasn't
Oh
great.
God.
It's not great. Not much
No.
space in it. Couldn't roll around. So yeah, when you have totally appropriate camping gear, actually bringing it is apparently a huge win. So yeah, that was my only real negative on the camping side. I'm loving having my own tent. Like I say, my own tent. It's got overflow space. Other people can come visit. That kind of stuff. It's fucking great. Really like having it because when you're sharing a tent, it's fun. It's a great way to get into tent ownership. But then you got to split the tasks and the location of it between two people, and that was a bunch of hassle for me. And I'm personally loving going solo. Rest of the camping kit was fine. Um, your boots are well, their boots aren't really camping, they're soft kit, but yeah, nothing to add on camping, all fine. The soft kit side. So there's one. I don't want to get caught by Sol for mentioning hard kit, so I'm going to leave that to
Yeah.
later.
I'm waiting.
He sat there with a Glock to my head. Please help me, listeners.
I think you already mentioned some hard kick foibles when we were talking about Saturday Battle, but anyway, carry on.
Yeah. So
You can't retroactively catch us, so.
yeah.
Oh, well, in that case, Chris is dead, and that is the end of the episode.
Yeah. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. But soft kit is pretty good. So Linda, I've got like Band's classic tunic, the dark green one, short sleeved, rolled up, with the lovely embroidery on. It's very bad, and I love using it. It looks great. I want to use it, but it's Band. So if I do put it on, I try and have a jacket on over the top. But otherwise, I've got loads of tunics. I got a new set of trousers this time round that I love.
Mm.
They go just below the knees. They look like they're tucked into my boots, but they don't. So they're super comfortable.
Are they the green ones?
Yeah, and they're super comfy. They've got like elastic waistband and stuff. I got them at Dash Shop, and fuck yeah, big trouser
Oh, yeah,
win.
you did.
Yeah, love them. Absolutely love them. Big win for this event because this is. I'm gonna wait I'm gonna wait and see if I can hear Sol cocking the hammer. But when I put my armor
Gotta
on,
wind the window down first.
yeah, before he mag dumps me with an Uzi. But yeah,
That's an inside joke. Fuck.
It's a very inside joke, but it was worth making it.
it's totally worth it. Yeah, when I put my armor on, you can't see any green, and I stand the heinous risk of looking like a winter marker, apart from the face paint. But yeah, so that's why green trousers were a must this event. But anyway, back to soft kit. All of it was good. Blood was good. I had a fake heart with me. That was great. Blood capsules. I had 2 boxes this time because I love giving them out. They're like candy. Band brace, all the archery stuff, jackets, quiver, all good shit. Really, really happy with like Lindy's, or just in general my kit now. I could do a lot with it. I've got loads of layers for when it's really cold or really hot, and I can dress up and dress down as appropriate. So really solid soft kit. There was something I was going to say, and I've totally forgotten. Oh yeah, the only negative, I I don't know if it count. Sol, before you shoot me, what do weapons count as? Do they count as hard or soft kit?
Definitely hard
Depends.
kit.
They're definitely hard kit,
Cool. All right,
Yeah.
I'll shut the fuck up then.
but
Which-
not if they're like getting in the way on the like anvil. If that's the complaint.
Nah,
Oh,
I'll go.
it's location based.
Yeah, it's location. Oh, it's use based as well.
I thought it was how you saw the kit is how you interpret it. So if it looks
Yeah.
like hard kit, it is hard kit, right?
Oh, stop it. I had
Anyway,
a big on debate with Chris about this. Go listen to the random chat that we had.
I haven't even published it yet. I'm still oohing and ahhing.
Oh god.
Yeah.
You
So
gotta.
okay, brief soft kit. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because I like my war paint. Next time, like I said earlier, I'll take one less line on it, but it's very Lindy, it's very me, and it's very easy to put on and off. Just a few stripes and a bit of fixer spray. Boom. It's messy on your hands, but bring a towel, you're good to go. I had loads of like clothes and stuff like that, and yeah, overall, every morning I could get up, have a shower, put fresh kit on that was either clean or dry, and that felt great. So yeah, need to fix my bed for next time, but otherwise Gucci, 8 out of 10.
Oof.
Hard kit, Sol.
I have chain. It just looks sexy. Absolutely adore chain. I've loved having it. Got my leather shoulder piece. I think the only complaint we've had, and I think this is across the board, is cleaved knees. That is
Yeah.
all. That is fixing. But apart from that, I'm having a great time. I could probably do with some like new greaves.
Mm.
Just kind of rework the legs. I think that's kind of it. But otherwise, like 8 out of 10. I'm happy. I got some new swords at E3.
Oh yeah.
I'm having a great
Oh
time.
yeah.
Oh, you did. You got the cool bone ones.
Yeah, so I went to E3 going, I want a shield so that I can expand my armory. The one thing I do own is a number of swords, and I went, you know what's going to be best? My money spent here. 2 more swords.
But these
These are
like
so
light
nice.
swords.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
my new Venom magic weapons.
oh yeah.
I've
You
got
were
an
lucky
extra-
as well. We actually happened to be helping Mike set up his tent,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
we got
yeah.
first look at all the options.
Ooh.
That's how Pete got his brilliant spear as well.
Yeah, like 8 out of 10. There's not much more. I'm pretty happy with it. For the practical Navari, I am. You know.
Practical. 2 bone swords for the practical Navarre. Me?
Okey-doke.
My turn?
Yeah,
Go.
8 out of 10 for Sol.
Okay.
Matty.
Well, I already started, so not much to comment on really. I'm still planning on getting a proper spear commissioned. I've just got to design it and send it off, hopefully to Mike Light. It's all good, isn't it? I'd like, better knee or leg armor of some kind. Did you just write "it's all good" in it? You're writing down what I quoted. Love it. Yeah, I definitely just need to sort out how often I get cleaved. I mean, it's fine. I've also got Relentless now, or I think I have. I need to double check that, so I can throw off a couple of cleaves and impales if I
Whoa.
really need to.
That's for combat RP, Matty.
It's related to hard kit. But
you
also, yeah,
keep
I like my
skipping
chainmail
ahead.
is amazing. I wish it was a bit longer, but what can you do? I would like eventually to get some leather to go over it. But I have my sort of green tabard that goes over it at the moment, which works perfectly fine for me. I think I'd like to get a combat specific tabard that's a bit of a different shape.
Mm.
But in the meantime, it's working really well. Like, it's very noticeably me, and I wear it on the battlefield and off the battlefield. So it's like quite a good sort of hero piece for the kit, to make sure that it's really visible, that I'm really visible the whole time. I'm really short, guys. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm very average height, but when you're around a lot of military people, you tend to feel quite small. So I would really like to sort of look the part a bit more when I'm running off in charge of, nations and stuff and actually giving people orders. So something to kind of elevate a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I need to just change my war paint or whatever. Getting a new spear, I think, will help.
Practical thing on that is you could actually use shoe inserts. So if you get I know you've got hiking boots already, but if you get a hiking
I don't
boot,
know that it's actually gonna help enough. Like that will only give me a maximum of like an inch, and that's not gonna make me that much taller. You know?
I think.
I don't think I'm gonna fix this by just getting taller, basically.
Okay. Damn, that was my plan. I was going to say if you get like some military boots can have like an inch, maybe an inch and a half on the heel.
Yeah, I do need to get new boots. I'm planning on getting new boots as part of my kit overhaul, so see how that goes.
Yeah, a pair of inserts like
Could
besides.
have mentioned that one in the previous.
I didn't go into the detail of all the kit changes that I'm planning on making, just that I'm planning on making them.
Commissar Baron has
I
a
guess
twitchy
modern
trigger
race.
if
finger.
I've managed to make them in time, then whoever goes to Pledge Ball or any other events that I'm going to will see. Otherwise, E1, baby. Hopefully, if I get it done.
Cool.
That's it, pretty much. Oh, yeah. The only other thing, I guess, is that I think I mentioned this when we talked about Saturday, but the buckler is fantastic, and I love it, and I love having it slung on my back. But I just don't use it anymore, so I think I'm gonna go down the
Two-handed?
one-handed spear to be used as two-handed more often than not. There's just less point in me actually bothering to carry the buckler when it comes to things like skirmishes. If that is something that was going to happen and I actually got to go on some of them, then I probably would, because they're a little bit more like individually peril based, or player
Imagine
events,
getting on
that
the
kind of thing
skirmish.
that were combat. You went on two. What are you complaining about? But yeah. Apart from that, I don't think I need the buckler in main battles. Especially, I mean, I want to say this was a bit out of the ordinary that I was so in the front lines while commanding. I think maybe that's just going to be how it is for Navarre. Like, they respond really well to that, so I'll just bulk up. But I still don't need the buckler. I can avoid quite a lot of shots now. I'm getting much better at like keeping my awareness around me, so should be that'll free up some movement, certainly.
Gotcha. And an overall score to kind of like sum that up.
I'd probably give it an 8.
Nice, decent.
Yeah, solid, good. Not like outstanding. There's still some improvements to be made, but it did the job, and I don't have any complaints for what it was then at all. And I got some cool shots of me in my full battle kit, which was nice.
You did, Dickerson. That's different actually now for us, isn't it? Because we've left it long enough. The photos are out. We should have had a section for photos, but maybe not the best.
Yeah.
You know, podcasts are maybe the best medium to share photos on. Perhaps.
Describe your photos for us.
In the top left pixel, you'll see green.
It's a very particular shade of green.
Cool. I
Your
get, and
turn.
is that all? Yeah, all me. All right then.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So I'm going to give mine a 4 out of 10 off the bat, because whilst it wasn't bad, I've got enough hard kit to get me going. I like how like armored Lindir looks. I tried out if any of the listeners here play Bannerlord, especially like Mountain Blade Bannerlord, there's a faction that has a troop unit called the Fians, Batanian Fians. If you don't know what they are, give them a Google. They're what I imagine Navari warriors to be, apart from the stupid bucket helmets. They're green, lots of chain. They use a mixture of longbow and long sword, and it's fucking cool. And so I got a look this time based on that, and it looked sick. I really, really, really liked the kit. I just found a combo that was easy enough to put on. Still took a fair amount of time, but was actually, if I got someone to help me, I could do in 10 minutes and get into a skirmish. And because I'm using aluminium chain, bleh. The running around and combat rolling is still in the realm of the possible. That's where the good news ends, unfortunately, with this event, because I got cleaved in the knee a fuck ton on the Saturday. It's like the green trousers aren't lucky. They're like, haha, cut me. and cut me the monsters did. So,
I'm so squishy.
oh, look at me, bare flesh. Oh, naughty, naughty bit of kneecap. Kiss me with your blade. Anyway, the ban, kneecap diaries will come at a later date. But anyway, the what I'm thinking of getting, and I'm 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 conflicted because Navarre take practical approaches to every problem, right? Now we use chainmail. Do I get they're called chassis? Basically chainmail tights or leggings. I'm thinking about getting a pair of them. But at that point, I'm basically fully covered in chain, which makes me fully armored, which is mwah. And also, immune to the typical knee slash. But at the same time, I really actually quite like being injured. It's probably not what you were gonna, expect me to say, but I love getting injured and having like a good weak
I know
spot.
exactly what you mean, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the I want to be injured. I just don't want
Kind
to
of what
have
I mean,
my
yeah.
leg cleaved almost double figures. That's kind of like it's the level that you're dealing with, though, right?
Yeah. So that's when it moves to the kind of plate
Yeah.
argument where I just cover the front of the leg, so monsters can reach around my back and slice the back of my thigh and hamstring me, that kind of thing, which is legit
Yeah.
and totally
Yeah.
fair. But then at that point,
What
I'm
did
getting
you?
plate
What
armor.
happened to those thigh bits of chain?
The chainmail skirt, it doesn't it covers to the knee, but not over the knee.
Right. Could you not just elongate that with some extra chain?
I don't have a spare 100 hours.
Well, I mean, if you got some like already made bits of chain, you'd only have to connect it along the bottom row.
I could, but this is really good alley chain, and it is riveted, not butted chain, so that takes a lot longer. I haven't got the will to do it, and also I just like the skirt because if I extend it long enough, it just at this point it's turning into a full hauberk, and
Yeah.
meh, I want to keep my pieces separate. So, do I get chainmail leggings? Do I get metal greaves that go up over the knee, and do like a dirty bronze paint effect on them?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, because
Like there are some people in the Marches and Dawn that wear those side of the knee, like bits that connect down onto grooves and things.
yeah,
That's
it looks a
kind of
bit
what
like
I was
a
thinking.
twin-tailed
Full
comet
knee,
kind of
just
look.
side of knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been looking strongly at plate armor and thinking how can I Navarre this up. So it's a question for the longest dark. Sorry, I keep calling it that. The long dark. Now we're back to normal.
We've already had the
Woo!
longest one.
Yeah, and it's a question I'm grappling with, and we'll see what happens. And also what I need to do is, in reality, I don't want heavy because I like the hero point from medium, and I feel like medium is a lot more fun to put on. It can look cooler. I can make my own leather armor, bear in mind, so it's a lot cheaper and more fun and more personal.
You think you're going to get rid of the chain?
That's the see. This is why it's a 4 out of 10.
But that could work, I guess. If you get rid of the chain and then you only use it on the bits where you get hit the most.
That's what I'm doing, but then you lose, as we found out in our little chat, but I feel like I'm obliged to publish now. I lose the hero point if I mix any metal armor in with my leather.
No,
So
no. That's not what that meant.
we had this exact same
That's
realization last time, didn't we? I've not learned.
No.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. You can do what you're thinking. You can wear enough to have full medium and then have elements of heavy. Having the two of them just means you don't get the 3 for medium and the 4 for heavy. It's not
you can't
7
layer them.
extra hit points.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So I might do that, but at the same time, this is like E4. Lindir went melee, and this brings me to my next point. Spears are shit, or at least I'm shit with them. Fighting with spear and shield, I looked cool, but I was ineffective. I love shield and sword. I love just using a spear by itself, but it's still not great. For me, it's just how I fight. I just don't gel with it. And when I was using it one-handed, I'd get one good stab in, and then it would get parried. And because you've only got one wrist controlling it, you haven't got the force to kind of realign and stab quickly again. Whereas with a sword, you can parry, move, slice, roll into hit, dummy, that kind of stuff. Sword and shield is the way forward for me. So my spear, I'm thinking of getting rid of, or realistically just selling it to someone who wants it. I'm definitely keeping the aluminium chain, but I'm not sure how much more I'll use it. And I think I'm going to fully dedicate to the longbow as long as it's not raining, because that's just more fun, and I can wear all my soft clothing, no armor, just 2-hit Lindir, and that's the way I like him. However, this event, as I mentioned on I think the Friday episode, yeah, all my arrows failed weapons checks, so I've got a whole new bunch of arrows
Yeah.
that don't fit my bowstring properly. So now I've got to thicken up my bowstring a bit with some tape, basically, or some more some leather cord. And finally, my longsword's been out of action since E3, and the only decent weapon I've got is, funnily enough, a Mike Light weapon, but it's a cutlass. And whilst it's great, it's actually my brother's, and I feel like I need to go and get a new longsword. I want something big and nasty because all of my weapons now are starting to get a lot of wear and tear, and that's because they get lent out. They've been around for like 4 or 5 years now, and so I mean the mace has got 3 separate pieces of masking tape on it, and I haven't relatexed it because I'm lazy. But yeah, all my weapons are falling apart bar one. I need to get my bowstring sorted out, and I need to get some better armor. So that's why overall my hard kit is a 4 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Yeah. Sol, combat RP.
Yeah, I was on bite the entire time. It was great fun. And Druge were fun. We've just been over that. I don't really have any moans about combat RP. I guess the only thing would be it went so quickly on the Saturday. But apart from that, all good.
It did, but it was a
cool.
grind fest leading up to that quick lead. So
I don't think there was anything that was necessarily outstanding. Like I don't think there was anything in this battle that I'm going like, this is the story that I'm going to tell my grandchildren. So we'll call it an 8 out of 10.
Fair.
But just overall very good.
Nice. Matty.
Let me think.
That was
God,
unnecessarily musical.
Sorry, not sorry. I think it was pretty good. I mean, obviously, I don't have any combat RP when it comes to the monstering day, so this is all about Saturday battle because I also didn't do any skirmishes this time. But I believe it was really good, actually. I mean, thinking about it, because it was leadership. It was for me as a character, but also as a player, the first time that I was in solo charge of something that big. So that was really significant. And like I feel so like amazingly grateful every time I get asked to do something like that. I'm just like, this is so unbelievable. I could not imagine doing this ever. I can't believe that I've managed to get to this place. It's so amazing to be trusted like that. And to have people just be like, yeah, go and do it. And then people listen to you. It's like, what? It's so awesome. So the fact that it went really well, people listened to what I was saying. Oh, I did get to do my first. Hi, sorry, the cat's just appeared. He's come to support me. I did do my first time briefing the nation before the battle because Drenos was like, "Yeah, just go do it. You do it," and I was like, "Okay, then. I've watched enough of these and paid attention to some of them. No, I have. I've paid attention to most of them this year."
It was good.
So I did the briefing, and someone got me a box, which was amazing and actually really helpful and hilarious at the same time. So I appreciated that very much.
Classic Legolas move.
Yeah, it was so good. I did get a box. It was really, really nice. The actual battle went really well. I had some good RP. I love the aggression of Navarre as a nation, and people really pushed that a lot. And I mean, I'm not like gonna sit here and talk about how wonderful and amazing I am because I don't think that I'm necessarily anyone more wonderful or better than anyone else. But I definitely do feel like what I did helped with being in the front line, pushing the people that I had. I had some really good 2ICs who very much impressed me. Sorry, the cat's just right here. You're a little battle cat as well. The cat who I'm definitely bringing along next time will be my newest 2IC, and we'll tell everybody to roll over and give him pets. So the battle will stall at that stage.
But no, it was nice. It was amazing. It was intense. I didn't have the same like I had this weird flutter of nerves. I think I mentioned after E3 when I did the leadership at E3, and I was like, and there were quite a lot of people that normally I would lean on that weren't, for whatever reason, their characters weren't either present or they weren't the
Alive.
same character as before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are a lot of people not to lean on, and we had obviously quite a new and interesting way of setting everything up with Wintermark and the marches, but I felt like I got to interact with the commanders of the other nations, both before the battle and during it, in a way that I just felt like people were like, hey, you're someone who's doing some shit. Like, it just felt like there was a level of respect there, which was really encouraging and really boosted my confidence.
Lovely.
And yeah, both Larkin and I came out of that feeling really, really good. I know we didn't technically do the objectives, but it just felt good. So yeah, it's a full 10 out of 10 for me for combat RP.
Lush. Alright then. For me, I'm also going to join you in the 10 out of 10 club. And not for the same reasons. It's just because I got to scream all weekend. Saturday battle, charging in, high on, not bite, but the, I can't even remember what potion it was. The questionable fluids, drunk.
But you got the freeborn one, right?
Yeah, +1 endurance, +1 fortitude. You feel like nothing can stop you and your inevitable victory. I had a few leftover crystals of bite from Soul's Dagger, and yeah.
Oh, wait, I forgot. I went down.
Oh yeah,
It was
you got
on my
down.
bleak count. Well, actually, it wasn't on my bleak count.
Yeah, honestly, that was
went down, but I wasn't.
For some reason that one actually wasn't a positive. I came out of it more anxious than I went in, but you know, some of us haven't died yet.
Yeah, that's true. You're still on a 0.1 character.
I am.
No,
Yeah.
that was really good in terms of like it felt intense. I knew that I was still fine, but I also knew that at any point, like, who knows what could happen. You know, people, specifically monsters, suddenly turn around and say they want to, stab you a couple times. So I was like, I could be stabbed at any point, and I don't know where anyone is. So I was just yelling and screaming my head off, making sure that people knew where I was. So I was like, you know what? Either they see me or they don't. But yeah, apart from that, that was a really cool moment because I hadn't planned on going down. That sounds really stupid, but I'd sort of prepped myself in my head for I'm going to be same as E3. I'll be behind the lines a bit, doing a lot of guiding, not really fighting that much. I didn't take an Iron Blood tonic because I was like, I've got enough hits anyway. If I get a couple hits, I'll be fine. So I was really surprised to find myself down, to be honest. But it was good. It was a moment, and it was kind of cool afterwards to find out that since I'd seen so many people down before and after that point of going down myself, it was really awesome to find out later on that we didn't lose anyone at all.
Mm.
Because it felt like there were players and characters down all the way through that fight. There was someone down on the wrong side of the lines. And then we just had left and no one was dead at all. So it was awesome. It was really, really cool. Yeah, still 10 out of 10. That doesn't change anything for me.
10 out of 10 with bonus marks.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, like I was saying, I just got to scream loads. I think I single-handedly drained most of the personal mana and herbs out of Navarre that battle. Went down. You saw me, Matty, and that adrenaline rush moment of like someone's coming to save me was pretty sick.
Yeah.
The skirmishes, like just the first one, sort of getting wrapped up in leadership a little bit. With sort of like acting like 3 or 4 IC for the skirmish was cool. Running into Andy Connell, the Ender of Worlds, was fun. When it was
Who did you fight with in the main battle? Like who were you with for that
Blackscar.
battle? Ah, okay.
Yeah, rip and tear that battle. It was I mean, don't get me wrong, got plenty of kills, but like, 5 or 6 compared to the literal 50s that Linda's been hitting whilst at range. Yeah, like 3/4 ICing on some skirmishes was really cool. I got an archery skirmish in as well. That was when someone came up and complimented me on the archery skills post battle. It was legit, and I was like, "Huh, this is what happiness feels like." It was nice. It's been a while. Um, and then going as Druge, getting shot in the snoz, feeding knights to the marshlings, and just capering around on corpses, being a little goblin. Yeah, 10 out of 10 event. I got unbridled chaos and aggression, and basically I haven't been like playing like any rugby or doing any training this summer, and getting my aggression out here felt really fucking good. So yeah, liked it a lot. Non-combat RP, Soul.
I had some really cool things that I can't really talk about. 10 out of 10.
Redacted.
Redacted.
Lots of redacted. Lots of just also moments where if I was to say them out loud, they would kind of lose some charm.
I know what you
Like
mean.
they're like personal RP bits.
Yeah.
Without going into a lot, there was beautiful things that and some beautiful RP with some beautiful people. Pretty much everyone I interacted with was awesome. Yeah, in terms of non-com, I was probably one of the busiest I've ever been. So 10 out of 10.
Nice. Oh, I have to pick you after this call.
Pin you down and question you about those vague answers. Yeah. I would almost give myself an 11 out of 10 at this point. I had so many amazing conversations with different people that I hadn't met before, people that I had met before but not like interacted with very much. Right from the start, I mean, I spent a lot of the downtime sort of playing catch up when it came to the military game, figuring out some things that I needed to learn, having chats with people. So it was really nice from the get go to be talking to people that I'd managed to talk to, like knowing them a bit more as people. But I'd say this is probably my most interpersonal event. This is the most I've interacted with just people chatting about shit, and especially new people. It was so nice. It was so nice. I mean, I was just talking to new people, ended up in tents that I'd never been in, with like weird little groups that I just of players that I was like, I don't really know who you are, but we're having a great time. Obviously, Gym Palace was a highlight. It was just good fun to sort of let loose and socialize with some of the other military people and just not talk about military stuff for a bit. Build those general bonds. There was something else. Oh, I got to spend a bit of time in Navarre, which is so unusual. There were just a couple of times when I found myself kind of just hanging around in Navarre, which was really, really nice. There was once when the wassail came in and I was just sort of talking to Ravadi, played by Becca. And we just sort of had a chat, and some of the people drifted over and had a bit of a chat, and it was just nice. Ended up at the bar, the Drunken Goose with Clay and Brenos, and I think Kara was there. I can't actually remember. Sorry, Rob. Talked to the egregores, who I've never really spoken to very much before because I always get like weirdly tongue-tied around the egregores. I don't know why.
You're
I think
basically
there's
talking to Matt P in the wiki at that point, and any mistake will result
but we're
in
not.
a conduct
So
shotgun.
I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's like a holdover from being a new, like, I still remember very vividly being a new player and how like otherworldly and like they are like the pinnacle of the nation, right? The egregores are like they're up
The
there.
spirit of the nation.
They
you
are
should
the
say.
thing. They are. Apparently, I've since discovered very recently that they are essentially Navarre characters who are inhabited by the spirit of the egregore. So they have a Navarre character that you can talk to and chat. Like that's them walking around. They're not just NPC insert, which I didn't like know from a mechanical point, and now I do, obviously. But they're cool. They're so awesome. I obviously want to try and chat with them more. Who else? I mean, so many people. I spent some time in Dawn. I've never spent any time in Dawn.
Oh, Dawn is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good. I was having a chat with some of the generals, one of whom is now dead. Rip.
Rip.
Watched the generals versus some Dornish people as part of one of our Navarre turned Dawn, his test of metal, which was just a fun little thing. Again, I just got to stand there and watch some people do some battling. Everyone was saying, you know, I was running around a lot, and I was running around a lot. I was always on the move between one place and another, but there were times when I stopped, which was really nice. And there were times when I spent, you know, several hours sitting in a tent. So I found that the variety was really, really good. And I just had a nice time. Like I got the stuff done that I wanted to do. I got the conversations done that I wanted to do. I upgraded Larkin to commander status. You know, I had a really fantastic event. Considering like I was just not in the mood in the run up at all. But that was more OC, so to jump into it icy kind of it really worked. It was so nice. And I'm really glad that it was such a good end to the season. And I'm glad that it felt really full. Like I don't know if you guys get this, but
Oh,
when you
Anvil's
feel like you
alive
haven't
and
done that
kicking.
much.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
but
go on.
also my weekend, like when you feel like you haven't done that much, it feels really like sad to leave.
Oh yeah.
But when you feel like, oh, I've done so much, I felt satisfied. I was like, I'm ready to go. That's cool.
Mm.
I'm not gonna be like kicking and screaming, horrible LARP drop, missing it. I was exhausted. I think we all were. We were talking about it for about 2 weeks, how we were still knackered from it, but
Yeah, I'm still
worth it.
kind of ill.
Yeah, you got unlucky there.
Variety of reasons, but
Right.
yeah.
So that's my 11 out of 10. What about you?
So redacted.
Oh yeah.
yeah. That's we'll say no more. We'll say no more. But Matty and I got up to some shenanigans different to Souls, and they were fucking awesome. Nobody else
Wow.
knows, and it'll stay that way. And it was just
I know.
a round of applause for us.
Mhm.
That was fucking great.
Mhm.
Same in general, busy. Like I said earlier, only the final 45 minutes of the weekend. I actually sat down and went, whew, let's lie in the sun, have a glass of water and chill. And yeah, for the first time, I felt like I was ready to go home because I
Yeah.
was shattered. And
Mhm.
I was
And
like,
that
I've
is,
achieved a
it
lot.
sounds like a sad thing, but it's such a good feeling.
Yeah, it's a good way to round out the weekend. Although,
Yeah.
if 4-day events come back, I will cream my
Mm.
pants and
Yeah.
celebrate. Really, really hoping for that with the potential new site that PD is looking at. But anyway,
It would be really cool.
that's irrelevant here. There was a death, and they died. They got to spend the last few moments. Actually, a Varushkan player who has a bunch of friends in Navarre. I've hung out with him a few times. He sold me a load of rats, so I was fucking ecstatic about that. And because the corpse gate's got like, I don't know if you noticed, but there's like 10 rats in there, like tied up by their tails with like fake blood
Oh my
slit
God.
throats and shit. There's just fucking rats all over the place.
What?
And he's the one who's been selling me them. I haven't put them there, but I have thoroughly enjoyed seeing the rats appear there. Anyway,
Incredible.
Jakub dies because he basically gets poisoned by the Druge, and I think deliberately doesn't get it healed, basically for the RP. And
Oh, was this the Varushkan you were talking about in the combat one?
no, that was Do, or played by Sam. No, this was off field on Sunday afternoon, and basically he's a friend of the Thornfang, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, I'm dying," and his friend was like, "Nah, he's just being dramatic." So he came up to me and was like, "Oh, Linda, have a look. Am I dying? I don't have any medical ability." So I was like, "You look fine, mate." And then an hour later, he was terminal. So
Oh my God.
yeah, Dr. Linda, do not trust.
Oh no.
So yeah, they decide to have he's dying, and we're like, let's do it in the corpse glade. Like, why? Where else would you want to die, right? It's the only on-field
Yeah.
graveyard apart from the toilet, and so he goes there, and I actually go to the Iron Hill Striding, which are honestly just the champions of Anvil. It must be said. Like, I, I every
Yep.
time I run into them, something is going on, and I love them all to pieces. And I go up to them, I'm like, hey, someone's having a funeral. Do you mind just turning up? And they were like, oh, yeah, because they're just cooking up some sausages and shit. They were kind of chilling out, and I was like, I'll
They
give
have a
you.
great tent set up. like
Oh,
their camp is
I think
awesome.
a lot of them are OC blacksmiths, so their kit is just.
Yeah, they're
mwah.
talking about bringing like a small portable forge to Anvil. Have you heard this?
No, I've seen they have a literal anvil, but they use to fix tent pegs, which are like have been
Literally,
having out of
Chris was
shape.
telling me, he was like, "Yeah, we thinking of maybe bringing like a small forge to Anvil." I was like,
Bugger
"Wow,
me, that would be awesome.
but that is incredible. You should absolutely do that."
Like making
I mean,
magic
just
items.
make me a horseshoe or something. I don't care. Like honestly, I just want to see a cool like blacksmith forge. That'd be amazing.
A variety of different horseshoes as defined by the
Yeah.
slut you've been reading.
Yes, exactly. You don't know exactly what they're supposed to look like.
But yeah, I sort of went up to them and said, "Hey, look, I'll give you a ring each to show up," and we show up to this funeral. And the feedback from that player who died was that it was actually super cool to have so many people there because we basically managed to
Aw.
fill the glade because there was about 15 of us in the end. And
Mhm.
because originally it was, like close friends, like 6 or 7 of us in total.
Did you
And
ask them to go just to make more people?
pretty much, yeah. They didn't know the guy, but
They were well up for it.
yeah, so I'll give you all 5 rings, like a ring apiece. Just come with me now, and look sad. So we did, and this Jakob's friends were actually crying, and
Aw.
it was a really touching and heartfelt goodbye. And the line of the weekend goes to Jakob because, as part of his will, he said, "Make sure each senator gets a rat." And I was sat there just trying not to die with laughter, trying so hard to
Oh,
take it
God.
seriously, and I was on the edge. I was on the edge, but
You're gonna have to
yeah,
make sure each senator gets a rat.
honestly, I
That's
can't
a
wait to
nice
present
wish.
Rizat with a fucking rat out of context. Like, this was someone's dying wish, and I hand him Rodney the rodent, and he's like, "What the fuck, Linda?" And I just walk off in
Oh
tears.
man, it's kind of a shame you're not coming to Pledge Ball. You could corner about 12 of them.
Oh,
Just start handing out rats in the middle. You'd be
I would be in my
politely
element.
asked to leave.
Yeah, sir, please cheese it,
Like-
like gladly.
Please stop giving people rats, sir. This is a formal dinner.
Like, what do you mean formal? They've got tuxedos on. But anyway, ignoring the rats as always. Songs and stories as well. I'm making a point to turn up to the end because Westwall is wonderful, and what a way to go into timeout because everybody's
Anyway,
there.
here's Westwall.
Yeah. Oh, fuck you. Right. And right, quickly moving on from that point then. I won't say anything more about this, but basically there was someone I've liked for a while, and just before E4, I asked them out, and they felt the same way about me, which was wonderful. And we got to kind of do a little bit of like, cutesy, semi-romantic stuff, icy as well, and that was really fucking lovely. Just like walking around seeing someone who's glad to see you, as opposed to like happy to. I don't know. People are always happy to see me. I'm Lindia, right? But
Ladies, gentlemen, and gentlethems, it is utterly adorable.
shut up, Maddie.
Yeah.
It is! It's so cute. Yeah. Woo!
Woo! Yeah. Woo! Another in-joke
It's
for the
so cute.
listeners.
It's really nice. It's very nice.
Yeah. So very very happy with her, and it was just really nice to like hang out with somebody icy as well, and just after all of the mud and blood of the battles and the sweat and staggering and walking around Anvil, just to sort of sit down
Actually,
and grab a drink.
That's kind of interesting, though, right? Because this has arisen both OC and IC sort of simultaneously. Like, which is obviously a lot of people must kind of flirt IC and not necessarily OC, or OC but not IC. Like, how did you even have the conversation about like where this is going? As in, by the way, this is not just an IC thing, kind of.
Yeah, so I'm not the one to ask because we decided OC to retcon it, so I can tell you how to not do it. So I mean, sort of detail-wise, asked them out literally on the Thursday before we drove to site, so it's an OC relationship. And then IC Linda basically asked them out, and they said yes, and like, okay, cool, that's it, yay. Like it didn't have the right
But
spark.
you started it by like it was all IC, and then you started talking like between events, right?
Oh, now you're asking me for like the gossip, Matty.
No, I'm just I know all the gossip. I don't need you. I'm just thinking in terms of like people who might.
You
I
just
mean,
have to make
this
it
is for the benefit of people
clear.
listening, right?
Oh, you're talking like IC versus OC relationships and
Yeah.
bleed. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So my 2 cents on it. So technically, right. So on paper, IC relationships and OC relationships are entirely different things, right?
Mhm.
However, of course, because we're human beings, we're playing characters that are fundamentally. I think it's very hard to LARP as someone who just isn't you. Most of the time, you play a character which
That's
is
true.
Matty or Sol with a lick of fantasy paint, and boom, we get Farron.
It's an
and
extension
Larkin.
of or an exaggeration of a part of you plus other things that aren't you.
Yeah.
Tends to
Yeah.
be how
I agree
the
with that.
character forms, right?
Yeah, and I would say that most people, if you know, if you're flirting with somebody, IC, and you haven't talked about it before. Let's say it's like you sat by a campfire, there's someone cute opposite you, you're like having a drink, you end up talking to them, and you flirt. Whether that's technically IC at that point, and then
Mm-hmm.
I think practical advice, just at some point whisper in their ear, or if you're walking off together to do something, say, look, OC, I just want to check in. Uh, the flirting, I actually do think you're really cute, and you just state your intentions. You say, OC, I think you're really cute. The flirting is both IC and OC. Are you comfortable with that? At which point they either respond yes or no, or I have a partner, sorry, or I'm comfortable with it, IC, but OC, I'm just not interested. That's fine. And you just, like Sol said, just talk about it. Make it abundantly clear what each of you expect and what you want.
Communication.
Imagine that. Woo! Yeah.
Oh my god, communication.
But yeah, like for my example there, basically asked this character to go off for a quick walk with me, and just we planned to go for a little walk and talk anyway, so it wasn't sus. But on the walk down, it's like, oh, the moon's as beautiful as you, all that. I don't think I actually dropped that line, but cheesy stuff, and it was just us two, and I formally declared my undying passion for this character, but no one witnessed it, no one saw it, and there was no driving force I see other than, oh, I think you're kind of cute. And so we're gonna wait for something. We're actually gonna go back to friends I see, and wait for something to trigger that again.
Oh, okay, cool.
And also, because I'm massively high maintenance, as you might have guessed, having a break from me at Empire might actually be a great thing for this person. So
Well,
yeah,
it's part of your hobby, right? You met doing it because you
Yeah.
were there independently doing your character stuff. You're
Doing
not
our
there
thing.
to date,
Yeah.
right?
Stealing stuff and touting rats, and that's apparently what makes me an attractive man. There's, there's someone out there for
Ladies and
everybody.
gentlemen, there's still hope.
There is still hope, yeah. But yeah, I guess I'll do Linda's love liabilities. I don't know, an episode on that, because that seems like a massive, awful, sticky spot to get into doing an episode on.
I think we should do.
Dear agony aunt Linda.
I was going to say agony Farron.
Yes.
Yes, it was Farron's answer to everything. Just stab it.
Probably stab, bit of
Stab
blood,
it. Cover it with blood.
bit of kill, bit of
Bish
food,
bash bosh.
bit of ambition is probably the one I'll end on.
Be more ambitious.
Be more ambitious.
So yeah, the up and down of
Amazing.
it, having a partner. I mean, like anything you do as a hobbyist, right? If you do it with someone you really like, it's typically a lot more fun, and that is certainly the case here. We'll see what else happens I see with this as it develops, but you'll have to wait until E1, dear listeners, for more updates.
Cool. I think that's it.
That wraps us up to
We
the
did it.
overall. So let's see the totals. So Sol's on a 7 plus an 8 plus an 8, which is 33 out of 40. Not bad.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good. 12, 22, 32. I'm not going to give Matty the 11 because that's cheating. So Matty gets 32 out of 40. And I'm on 8, 12, 22. Oh, I mean, I didn't actually give my score for the non-combat RP. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's not quite 10
With
out of 10.
one to improve, you know?
Yeah, I want to improve
Anything
because as amazing as it was, I'm sure it's going to get a lot more amazing. And also, I had the pleasure of when we were singing Westwall, Someone sung the line out of time, like when you go quiet in the final chorus, and they went on the, and then squatted to their knees, just put their hands on their head like shell shock, and just went, "I want to die, I want to die, I want to die." And it wasn't like ha, I want to die. It was genuine, and they were fine. Obviously, it was just
Mortified.
embarrassing, but yeah, that was hilarious. So yeah, really, really funny. So that gives me to 12, 22, 31. So, officially, dear listeners, Sol is the best LARPer with 33 out of 40. Matty on
That's
32.
how it works.
And I'm on
It's
31.
like,
You win.
you know what it was? A
31,
good
32,
night's sleep.
33.
That's all it required.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
camping.
It's camping. Goes to show that having
like
a
that,
dry
Solid,
31,
bed.
32,
solid 8 out
33.
of 10 for all of us, though, rounded up. So there you go.
Yeah, not bad at all. So, unless any of you have any parting comments to add.
Not really. I think I'm
No.
happy. I think
Well,
I've
just
finally
one.
covered.
Oh,
Wow. Just recovered in time to start prepping for the player event that we're going to be running at the end of January.
oh, do you
Oh,
want to do
yeah,
a
that's a
plug?
great
Let's
thing
do a
to
plug.
put.
No,
Let's
we're
do
gonna
a
plug.
thing.
No.
We that's all. That's basically all we can say at the moment.
Black Scar are
Please
running
go
a
to
player
the,
event.
yeah, Black Scar are going to run a high peril horror, probably high combat player event at the end of January at Eversley, the ILARP site near Farnborough, near London. And we have an event, and we have a Facebook page for the team, which I think now is at Quiet Glade Team. But I'm assuming Chris will put the links on with this.
Well, I
In
have
the
to now.
doobly-doo.
Yes, yes, you do.
Or I will pull
Yeah.
this trigger.
Yeah.
Still in there.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
We're
and
done.
gentlethems, bye.
Yeah. Woo!
Bye.